everyone, and welcome to Hyatt at the Arch, home of the 2017 St. Louis Cardinals Winter Warm Up. Along with Angella Sharpe, I'm Todd Blackstock, and we're set to go inside. It started out a little icy and rainy, but Cardinal fans will not be denied the Winter Warm Up.
That's right. You know, this event, they do it every year. It's a great way to get ready for the best fans in baseball, to get ready for Cardinals baseball. It's going to be a lot of fun today. You want to hop on the escalator?
Yeah, let's hop on the escalator and head on up.
We're going to have a lot of fun. You know, they've got a lot of different events going on here. They've got some interactive events. They've got some players signing autographs.
Yes.
Some all sorts of cool stuff. And, you know, we're going to take you around and show you what's going on here at the Winter Warm Up.
That's right. We saw Wainwright a little while ago giving a nice little speech at the podium, and he sang a song, and we've got bits of that. How about that? Also, you got Bill DeWitt Jr. signing autographs, Kerry Robinson, and much, much more. So as we ascend at the top of the escalator, let's go inside.
Waited all summer for time to be right. Take you along, make it ready.
Wainwright's singing may not earn him a Grammy, but his pitching has earned him a spot in Cardinals history forever.
You and me gone fishing in the dark.
I'm not going to do anything great, but I'm really not afraid to sing anything, honestly. So whether it's great or not is not my concern. Whether it'll be fun, that's more my concern.
Helping the Redbirds win a World Series, and he's got 134 wins and just 76 losses. He's got a 3.17 ERA and 1,487 strikeouts in 11 seasons with the Cardinals. We'll check back in with Adam in a little bit, but now we're going to send it over to Angella Sharpe.
One of the coolest parts of Winter Warm Up, our fans can get autographs from some of their favorite players. What are your guys' names?
Justin.
Adam.
All right, who did you guys just meet?
Lynn.
Was Lance Lynn, was he super nice?
Yeah.
What did you guys talk about?
We just talked about how good he was going to do this season.
Awesome, and what did he sign for you?
A baseball.
He signed a baseball for you, and you got a couple signatures on yours. Who else do you have on yours?
Alan Bennis.
There you go, see? Everybody gets to meet their favorite players. Was that part of the coolest part for you today?
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be in the MLB because I already play baseball, and I'm a pitcher. Let's go Cards!
Hey there, Richard. Why do you volunteer to work Winter Warm Up?
Well, first of all, I've been going to this Winter Warm Up since 2004, and this is my 12th year attending here, and I've been volunteering now my third year as a volunteer with the Warm Up. It's my own little, what you call, mini baseball convention party for myself. I like to meet with the players, I like to meet with the owners, especially the team Fredbird cheerleaders.
Yeah, of course.
But also I like to get to know what the Cardinal Winter Warm Up is all about.
I love it. Can I get a Go Cards?
Go Cards!
Favorite musician of all time? You know, probably a tie with Garth Brooks and George Strait and country music and Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots for 90s alternative, and I love Journey, 80s rock. You know, I love my older brother. I listened to a lot of things he did because I thought that was cool stuff, you know, when I was young. And I should have been listening to, you know, Barney. I was listening to Pearl Jam 10. Guitar, yeah, play guitar, and kind of like my singing. I can play a lot of songs and sing a lot of songs while I'm doing it. Nothing's great, but I have fun.
The Winter Warm Up is a way to bring owners, players, team personnel, broadcasters, and most importantly, fans together during the off-season to enjoy many activities and a great opportunity to get Cardinals memorabilia before the season. Cardinals team president Bill DeWitt III said that these events, along with Cardinals Care, have invested more than $22 million into children of our community since 1997. Cardinals Care, according to DeWitt, has provided $12 million in grants to over 800 nonprofit youth organizations and have built 22 youth ball fields locally in Missouri and Illinois neighborhoods. Now let's send it over to Angella Sharpe as she's catching up with more Cards fans.
Hey there, what's your name?
Aaron Bounds.
All right, why did you come out to Winter Warm Up today?
I actually got tickets from my dad for Christmas.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and they support kids, and it's pretty great stuff.
So what has been the coolest aspect of it for you today?
Meeting the players has been a lot of fun.
All right, so what player did you just meet?
Just got Lynn, so I was pretty excited about that. Hope he has a career year this year. So pretty.
Did you get to talk to him about that at all?
Yeah, they're actually very personal and very open about stuff, so that's been pretty great.
Pretty cool. And you got a couple autographs here then too?
Lynn, Mike Matheny, Alan Benez, and John Mabry, who I got when I was a kid. So pretty excited about that. Yeah. Go Cards.
Hey there, what's your name?
Emma.
Emma, why did you come out to Winter Warm Up today?
I love the Cardinal players. I've been a big fan ever since I was little, and I just love the Cardinal atmosphere.
Of course he was nice. So who is your favorite baseball player on this current team?
Randal Grichuk.
All right, have you got to meet him yet?
I did. I met him yesterday.
And how is he?
Awesome.
Do you think he's kind of hot?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Did you mention that to him?
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't have time.
She kept the fangirl on the down low, which we like. That's good. That's good.
Go Cardinals.
There, what is your name?
Hi, Anita.
Anita, why did you come out here to the Winter Warm Up?
Because it is so awesome to get to see the players. It gears you up for the season coming up.
Have you been to a previous Winter Warm Up before this year?
Yeah, we've been coming about 16, 17 years.
Wow, you've been coming that long, so you really do love this event.
Oh, absolutely. It is so awesome.
For somebody out there who maybe hasn't been to this event yet, what is one of the best parts of this event?
Well, just the fact that you get to see the players close up and getting to talk to some of the past players, getting their autographs. You get to hear about the upcoming season, who they've signed, who they're looking at, just what the health-wise on some of the players. That Lynn should be back, and it's great news that, it's just interesting to hear all the developments that's coming up for the new season.
And it's also pretty cool in the mineral winter. I mean, we had the ice storm. It's January, but now we can kind of start looking ahead towards April.
Exactly. The other thing is you kind of get to seeing the same faces every year. You may not know their names, but they're like, hey, how you doing? You don't have a clue where they're from, but they're just part of Cardinal Nation.
Can I get a Go Cards?
Go Cards!
Do you expect to be on the mound opening day?
You never can tell, man. I mean, 5 years after this year, but Carlos pitched great last year, so if Mike thinks he, deserves that top spot, then I would never argue with it. But I plan on pitching a heck of a lot better this year than I did last year. Well, I hope so. Goodness. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, everybody wants to win it, and I want to win it too. I've been trying for years. And he has the potential to do it, though. It's one thing to say it and one thing to believe it. I think he believes that he can do it. And I look forward to watching him finish second in the race this year. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to play that year by year. I want to see how my body feels, how I'm competing. If I'm still out there dominating faces, I want to keep doing it. And if I'm not, then I'll go play in my club championship at home. It's at an all-time high. From a team standpoint, not making the playoffs last year, it hurt. And to know from a personal standpoint that we missed by one game, and if I win 2 more games, we go to the postseason. That's hard for me to swallow, knowing that I pitched the way I pitched. I just know that I'm traditionally so much better than that. I'm going to be so much better than that. But I battled the best I could do, honestly. I mean, I battled. There was certainly times where I could have got out of situations that I didn't. And what Tony La Russa used to tell me all the time when I was a young pitcher was one of the favorite things of me as a pitcher was that I made a pitch when I needed to get out of the big jam. And I'm not sure I made a big pitch to get out of a jam all year last year. So I saved up an entire year's worth of great pitches for this year.
Back over to Angela, who's with a darling little Mackenzie, a true Redbird fan.
I caught up with one of our little fans, Mackenzie. What is this thing you've got right here?
It's a team flag. I've been working on it since this summer.
Since the summer, so you wait outside for some of the Cardinal players and they sign your flag?
Yeah.
Who has been the nicest Cardinal player that you've met so far?
Yachty.
Yachty was the nicest?
Yeah.
Very cool. And have you had fun today at the Winter Warm Up?
Yeah.
What? I saw you over there batting. Did you do pretty well?
No.
No, you know what? I heard your dad say, don't hit like a girl. You need to tell your dad, Girls can hit, and they do it better than guys and in high heels, okay?
Okay.
All right, you tell me. You look right there and give me a big go Cards?
Go Cards!
If you take him out of the game, you take out one of the best competitors, one of the best catchers in baseball. And so I'm not saying the next guy won't step up and do a great job, but it's not quite the same as Yadier sometimes. So the manager or general manager or whoever is looks at that and goes, well, gosh, we really need to win this game. But when is there a game that you don't really need to win? So it's hard to sit your great players. But that's definitely not my decision. I'm here. I'm there. And as long as he's out there every fifth day when I'm pitching, it's going to be fine. He's going to be playing probably a lot, and he's probably going to fight to be in there every single day. Well, certainly mine. I mean, Yadier's got, what does he have, 8 or 9 Gold Gloves and a bunch of All-Star appearances, 4 World Series appearances. I've got some of that stuff, but he's going to potentially be in the Hall of Fame. I'm fine with my career partially being defined by being able to throw the Yadier Molina. It doesn't bother me in the least. It's a proud thing for me. He's as great as people say, and greater than some people know. But I think certainly he's elevated my game, and at times I think I've elevated his game too. Hopefully, I mean, when we're out there together, we're very hard to steal on. It doesn't happen often. So I mean, I don't throw a lot of wild pitches. Hopefully, but he blocks most of them.
What's the ceiling on Ledmus Diaz? I mean, it must be fun watching him grow and get to see him right there firsthand.
I loved watching Ledmus play last year, and he was. You know what? I mean, I don't mind saying that he was such a surprise to us in a great way. We had no idea the kind of caliber player that he was. We knew he could hit a little bit. We didn't know he could hit like that. We just never saw him, and we knew he could run a little bit. We didn't know he could run like he can run. And I think when you saw him slow the game down at the end of the year and sort of be more comfortable in the field, he started making the plays too. And he's just a great player. He is a really tough out. I mean, that guy can hit. So he just adds a lot to our lineup.
Seems very mature for his age.
He is very mature, and he's funny, man. Did you hear? I don't know if y'all picked that up in the writers' turn last night, but he's very smart. He's a great chess player. He's a smart guy. I want to win the World Series. That's why I want to do it. I got a few more years that I feel like I can really pitch well. But you can't force those things. You can't just say like, all right, Matt, it's gone. You're the leader. It's got to happen naturally, and I think there's a couple guys in there that certainly have the potential to be that guy. I think Matt Carpenter is obviously a guy that could do that, and Stephen Piscotty is a guy that could do that. But you'd never know where that could come from somebody totally different. We'll have to just wait and see.
And joining us now is Hall of Fame sports writer, known as the Commish here in St. Louis, Mr. Rick Hummel. And Rick, 40-plus years in St. Louis here covering the Cardinals. And can you give us a synopsis and an evolution of what you've seen with Cardinal baseball over the last 4.5 decades?
I think the most striking thing is how the attendance rise has gone from, 1 million plus to 2 million to 3 million and beyond. That's a tremendous jump. Cardinals were a good drawing franchise anyway. And then to go from where they did once Marty Herzog took over to get into 3 million, and they've been in the 3 millions for many years in a row with the DeWitts and under LaRussa's management and Matheny's management. So that's been the most striking thing because the teams have generally been competitive in all the decades I've been here.
So you joined the team, I guess, after the great teams of the 70s, or the 60s, late 60s, and all through the 60s. The 70s were a little bit of a lull. The Cardinals made a couple of trades they may have wished they may not have made. Steve Carlton and Jerry Royce come to mind. If those guys stay in St. Louis, how would the shape of the franchise have changed in the 70s?
Well, they might have at least been in some more World Series, some more playoffs. They weren't even in the playoffs in the 70s, let alone to the World Series. So, yeah, Carlton, Gussie Busch got mad at him. The monetary numbers were pretty small as far as what he wouldn't give him in his contract. So Carlton went to Philadelphia, and Rick Wise gave the Cardinals a couple pretty decent years. He was a pretty good pitcher. Actually, he's a good pitcher, but Rick, was not Steve Carlton. And Carlton got the Phillies into the World Series, and they won in 1980. He was imagine him and Gibson as the 1-2 punch for a few more years when Gibson was still kind of near the peak of his game. That'd been pretty impressive.
They've had many managers with the Cardinals. Red Shane needs a couple of stints. There was a small era of the Vern Rapp era. How did that work out with St. Louis?
I like Vern. I guess I was one of the few, maybe. Vern, I thought, was a terrific manager on the field, tactician type stuff, but his personnel skills were a little lacking, I guess is the best way to put that. He had a hard time relating to the players, and they had a hard time relating to him. They had a good season the first year. In 77, they were over 500, contended till late in the year. Early in 78, not so good, and he got into a little dust-up with Ted Simmons verbally, and Simmons was the leader of that club, and Vern didn't have much support going on there then, so that was the end of him. But he was, as a manager, just excluding everything else but the game itself, he was pretty good on the field.
I just remember as a little kid, he made everybody cut their hair. I mean, Ted Simmons and Al Roboski, some of these guys, I don't think they wanted to cut all their hair and their facial hair off. But moving forward into the Whitey years, I mean, coming out of the 70s, Whitey takes over. All of a sudden, bing, bang, boom, things are changing, crazy trades, transformation of the team. Tell us about that era.
Well, he came here in 1980, June, and didn't like what he saw much, didn't like some of the personalities of the players, or some of the players anyway, and said, I got to make some changes here. And he told me the first night he took over, this guy's gone, that guy's gone. And by the end of the season, they were all gone. And they got faster. They had a pretty good hitting club, but they weren't really very fast. And the pitching wasn't really very good. So he fixed those up. They became a great speed team and a great speed ballpark. Busch Stadium was enormous. Busch Stadium, too. And they traded for Ozzie to improve their defense. Willie McGee was acquired in a trade, and they got lucky with him. Nobody knew he was that good, but he was. Tom Herr came up through the system. They had some other. Andy Van Slyke came up. They had quite a list of speedsters there, and they played to their best in this ballpark. They didn't need home runs. Couldn't hit home runs. Didn't try. Couldn't do it anyway. They did try. And they pitched well, caught the ball well, forced the action, made you make mistakes on the field. It was terribly exciting, and that's where the attendance boost started, was with those teams.
I remember there was the Joe Torre era was, a few years. I'm not sure he had quite the payroll. But then Tony La Russa came to town, and it seemed like, he had carte blanche. He was coming from a winning organization, and when he came to the Cardinals, he kind of had it his way. There was a transformation in ownership, and it seemed like La Russa had a great payroll and had some great teams to manage.
Well, he had a good payroll. The brewery, toward the end of its stewardship of the Cardinals, wasn't much interested in expanding baseball's payroll, so that Dal Maxwell had to work with his hands tied behind his back those last few years, and Torre as the manager. So they couldn't make any moves to make themselves a lot better. When the DeWitts came in, the payroll has grown substantially since they took over, but it was pretty good when they got here too. So whatever Tony wanted and Walt Jocketty wanted, and Walt was a very shrewd trader. He didn't need much help, but they got what they wanted, got what they needed, and it was different than the last years of the brewery owning the team.
Now Matheny has been here for a few years. Ballpark Village has come to fruition. There's more things and transformations going on. It must be cool to have seen over the last 45 years or so all the transformation of not only the stadium but downtown and everything around the ballpark. Can you tie it all together for us before we let you go?
Well, I've seen it transform one time, and then it didn't take, and now they've built it up again with Ballpark Village, and this should be a tremendous economic godsend to everybody for a long time to come. It gives people someplace to go before and after the games, and it's comfortable. You can put other events on in there, and the ballpark itself is very comfortable from which to watch a game, and it's the cleanest ballpark I've ever been in. In fact, all the Busch stadiums, 2 and 3, should I say, have been very clean. Even when they were going to close down the next year, it didn't matter. It was still spotless.
Rick, thank you very much for joining us here on STL TV. Any final thoughts about the fans year in and year out coming to Winter Warm Up, especially during playoff football? I mean, they're out here packing the place over NFL games. How do you feel about that?
They don't care about playoff football. They care about one thing, St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
All right, once again, great time out here at the 2017 Winter Warm Up. Cardinal Baseball is on the horizon. I'd like to thank Joe Brown, our photographer, and you, Angela Sharpe. Any final thoughts?
You know what? I thought it was I've never been before. This is my first time at the Winter Warm Up. Really cool event. Got to talk to some fans who are really excited. They're gearing up for baseball season. They wanted to get warmer. They want Cardinals baseball to start. That was pretty cool. And, you know, we also got to hear Adam Wainwright sing Fishing in the Dark, which I thought was wicked cool because I love country.
Unbelievable. Lots of kids having a great time out here, and the Cardinal fans. We'd like to thank you for watching STL TV. Thanks a lot. So long.